All right, today's lesson is going to be on describing transformations that change a graph into a different graph, and those are called the pre-image and the image. Or you will be given an equation, and you will have to describe the transformations that moved the graph as well. So we'll start with the graphs. We're identifying transformations that change the graph of the pre-image. So the blue one is our pre-image, and the red is our image. So pre-image is before. That's where you're going to the image, which is after. So you want to describe the transformations. And when you're looking at the graph, the transformations will just be moving, like translating left and right or up and down. So what you can do is I've given you a couple points that correspond on each of the graphs. And you simply just have to count which way they've gone. So the pre-image is on this blue graph, so I'm going to start here. And I'm going to move to the other point. So I'm going to have to move left 1 and up 2. So I will write translate left 1 up 2. And that is all you have to do for those to describe the transformations between the pre-image and the image. Okay, let's try another one. The pre-image is the blue, the image is the red. We need to describe our transformations that moved this point to this point. So up and over. So I'm going to translate and let's see here. That is going by 1, so this is -5, so this is -1, -2, -3, -4, so this is at -4. So we're moving up 4, and we're moving to the right 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So make sure you're careful on your scale. That you count what it's going to be. Sometimes it goes by 2, sometimes it goes by 1, so just check that scale to make sure you get the right numbers there. So up 4 and right 8. Okay. Now we're going to do the transformations from the graph pre-image to the image, but just looking at the equation. So it helps if you draw yourself a little bit of a picture. And what's really important is just where did the asymptotes move. That's going to tell you your right or left, up or down. Okay. The other two things that we have talked about in the past is we have reflections and we have vertical stretch or shrink. So we tell that by looking at our A value. So remember our A value is this number that's on top. And so you can see from the pre-image to the image, that number is different, and the number is negative. So that means that we would have a reflection across the x-axis. And the number itself is the value, the absolute value of that has not changed. So there is no vertical stretch or shrink. So now we just have to go from the pre-image to the image. So I'm going to sketch out a graph. And this x minus 7, that has told us that we have moved right 7 from the parent function of 3/x, and this has moved up 5. So my pre-image is starting at x equals on the wrong side here. X equals 7, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And up 5, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this point right here where the asymptotes cross is like 7, 5. Okay, and then your graph would be in there as well, but again, when we move our asymptotes, we also move all the points the same way. So if we look at where they cross, that can be our point that we choose to move to the image. Okay, then our image is, this has told us to go left 5, and this one is to go down 4 from the original when we have x equals 0 and y equals 0, so not from the pre-image. Okay, so we're going to go left 5, and that's going to be one of our asymptotes, and then down 4. Now, you don't have to always draw this picture, but I would highly suggest it to give yourself a visual on where our points are. So this has been left 5 and down 4, so that's at -5, -4. So to finish up our, this is, got erased, I guess. To finish up our translation from the pre-image to the image, so the pre-image is this blue one, we're going to go left 7, or sorry, left 12. So we go 7, and then we go 5 more, so that's 12. So translate left 12, and then we went from 5 down to -4, so that would be down 9. So the reflection piece and the translation piece is all of our transformations to move from the pre-image to the image. Okay, let's try one more here. Okay, so now we notice that this number on top, the 1 has changed to a 2, and it's still positive, so there's no reflection. So if that A value is getting bigger, so getting larger, a bigger number, then it is a vertical stretch. Like what we looked at yesterday when we had 6/x and 1/x, it was a vertical stretch, it was getting farther from the origin. If A is getting smaller, then it's a vertical shrink. So this is just some notes for you there. So that means, like, if I start with my pre-image and it's going from 1 to 2, that's a vertical stretch. If I start at the image and go to the pre-image, and then it would be going from 2 to 1, it would be a vertical shrink. Okay, so in this case, we have a vertical stretch of 2. So the number that you have to multiply by to get to the other one is what your vertical stretch is. If you're going from 2 to 1, then it's a vertical shrink of 1/2 because it's getting smaller. So vertical stretch of 2 is, that's my factor that I had to multiply 1 by to get to 2. Okay, so now we have to figure out our translations. So draw yourself a sketch, again, of where the asymptotes are. So for the pre-image, we have x plus 1, so that means it's at -1. And there's no up or down, so it's still at 0. So we're there. And then the image is, this tells you to go left 8, and this one is up 3. So we've gone 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and up 3. So we need to move from this point, the blue, to the other one. So we need to go up and over. So we are going to translate up 3 and left. We're going from -1 to -8, so that would be left 7. Okay, then there is one on your homework to change the point on number 2, change where it's located from 4, 0 to 5, -1. So that will be, it was just graphed incorrectly on there. I picked the wrong point. So change that on your homework. Otherwise, the rest of the time is used for your homework. And it will be due on Monday. Just